Welcome back to Behind the Breaks. Today, I talked to my favorite guest ever, RJ. It's just us today. What do you have, man?
Oh, Matt, so much. We got custom bat knobs, and you know what? Hey, we're going back on Whatnot, and we're going to be doing some single shows and some breaks.
Two
So
packs a day, baby.
2 packs a day. So come on in and join us and have some fun. Let's get into it.
All right, we are live, RJ.
Sweet.
Okay, we're live. I look good
Yep.
because this is a podcast and people aren't looking at me. I need to make sure I look good. All right, welcome back to Behind the Breaks. We're back after a week off. I wouldn't say, would you, RJ? That was a planned week off. It just kind of happened a week off. So
sometimes the tornado hits and you just kind of go with it. So
And yes, we did. We were drug across the land, and we have managed to come back. And here we are. And real quick, I am sporting a hat, but I thought you loved me, RJ. My beard's awful white. Like, I didn't realize I was getting this white.
I don't know. I think it's nice. It works out, right? Because you got like the classic black and white going on. It's,
I look like I'm wearing a helmet, man. I got the chin strapped down. I'm going to talk to the bride about maybe some Just for Men and comb it in. All right. Enough about me. Enough of looking at myself. Yeah. So why were we away? Well, first of all, we're still, doing the jobs, carrying the thing and corporate life and, the entrepreneur life. But also we are completely stoked to be coming back on breaking. We're going to be back in the breaking world as 2 packs a day. Again, 2 packs a day. We break on Whatnot. We're looking at going on to Fanatics as well. But so we've been setting up shop.
You
just finished yesterday, I think, right?
Yeah. So did a whole bunch of moving around. We had the space that we were in before because we did breaks and single shows and all that kind of stuff. Yep. And then we kind of got away from it to kind of dive into this for a little bit. So we are getting back to it. But Matt and I and Brian went into it with just trying to like think of how can we maximize the space that we're in. And we are lucky enough to have, one of Brian's bedrooms that we've kind of converted into like our whole entire card area. We set up some, 6-foot tables that run across, the whole space on one side. And it's kind of set up as like one spot is on camera. The middle spot is, sorting and things that happen after show. And then we have the final spot, which is, our shipping section. And then we put in a couple wire racks with all of our, supplies on it. And especially right next to shipping is everything used for shipping, bubble mailers, boxes, all that kind of fun stuff.
We basically sat down and thought the process, and then we built the process, I think. And let's just be honest. I mean, one of the things about this podcast is we get to talk to people that are doing it great. And we're kind of like, that's a great idea. So, I mean, it would be a mistake not to give them a shout out. And it's kind of what we're doing this podcast because we talk to people and we hope that somebody out there listening says, oh, that might work. And guess what? We're the guys that saying that could work for us too. So The whole process has been awesome. The guests have been awesome in helping us. And I wouldn't say stealing, but that's a good idea. How can we make that work for us? How can we take that idea and turn it into something that works for us? To your point, that whole shipping process, I think it was Shake talked about how he's got it down. He can stand in one place and do it. So a lot of good tips, and we're going to take advantage of those tips, and we're excited about getting back into it.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with 3 of us too, we had to make sure there was enough room to move around comfortably, right?
Yeah.
And kind of where our previous setup was, the camera station was on one side, and then, we had product on, behind us, and you're kind of moving and shaking, a little bit, in just an awkward format. So, But yeah, shout out to everyone that's come on. What I want the listener to take away from this is, we are just using the same information that we're having these conversations, right? Like, there's experience that comes, just the more shows you do, you start to find your groove of what works and what won't work, what style of auction is going to work. And that's the thing. We'll be doing, different formats, right? To still find what grooves for us. But this is just all information that it's just use it to what you can and go out and, try to achieve it, right? Like up front, we're still not, we've done OBS before, but we're still not on OBS yet. That would be the next step for us of that incorporation. But we are just trying to we want to make sure that the studio that we have now, or the location that we have now, is set up in a best format possible. And we'll get that after the first couple of shows. We're still deciding on the first launch show again of it. But I think we're going to be starting off with a single show. Pretty excited about. It's been the past week and a half, 2 weeks. We've just been putting in offers, trying to scrape product from different areas, stuff that's, pretty cool. Anywhere from single stuff to, like I said, slab PSA stuff, because we want to not only be as entertaining as possible, but provide, value. We're going to
We
be,
are. Hey, we're the most entertaining people on earth, man. Come on.
hey, the circus is in town, right? And I was actually just there with my kids on Sunday. So, like, the
Oh,
greatest
that's right.
show.
Yeah, that's right. RJ went to the circus with his children, and I went to the circus that is IKEA.
Hey, but you know what? My circus was really cool because it was just all like, we're going to take clips of movies, but reenact it with death defying circus stunts. And I got to say, like, hey, Indiana Jones with a crossbow, I'd watch that any day.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, let me tell you this. I think my dog can say the F word now. The amount of times I said it after IKEA, these particular shelves. But yes, I forgot about the circus day because we were
Yeah.
together that morning, and then we had
Yeah.
to go. We had to go our separate ways. For yours was far more enjoyable. I have to guess, but yeah, no, I'm super excited to get back in there and do it. I was actually thinking today, like, there's some guys that I can't, like, I hope they jump back in when they see us back. We have some folks that frequented our shows
Yeah.
before. I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping they jump back in. But I think your point about giving a thanks to the guys that have come on, shared their tips, and again, we're just doing this because we like talking about the hobby. This
Oh, yeah.
podcast is all about talking about the hobby.
It's everyone that we've talked about in these shows it's community, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like when you go down the street and you go to a street corner and you see a McDonald's, a Burger King, and a Wendy's. They all kind of sell the same thing, but there's a small tweak on it, right? And that's what everyone is.
Yep.
Everyone's going to find a different customer stream for themselves because they have a different format or a different show style or just personality, right? So there's plenty of everything for everyone.
Oh, yeah. There's
And
space for everybody.
yeah, and it just comes down to, I want to showcase some cool cards and grow a community, and Matt's along there with me. So
yeah, there's space for everybody. There's a guy I saw maybe 2 months ago now. He had a yellow sticky with a smiley face. That was his backdrop. And he was just selling some cards that he had in his collection. Super cool guy. I wish I remembered his name off the top of my head, but just great little vibe, just talking to people. And it was, so yeah. And then there's the people that do it, and there's lights, there's buzzers, there's ticker tapes, and the people that do it. And you're like, how, that's like a Las Vegas production. So
yeah.
Definitely space for everybody. And I'm really stoked about it. And, I look forward to getting back on there.
And that's the thing. We're just adding more stuff into the life now, Matt. So
I know, what's funny. Okay, I was actually going to get to that next. Is, hey, we're busy, we're slammed, I'm working this many hours, you're doing this, you're pulled this, and now we just added this.
Yeah,
but I'm excited about it because we're back into opening packs on the regular, right? I mean,
we'll get there. Yeah, I think up front we want to. The goal is to get to two. Yeah, the goal is to get to 2 shows a week. One show being a single show, lot style, whatever it might be, right? For just all that stuff that we come across, and then the other is a break show. Right, because then you're kind of hitting both sides, and at the same time, it's the community is a little bit different at the same time, but you're offering. It's not. It just comes down to just, I guess, different avenues that you can kind of make connections with people, right? Because some people that do breaks just don't do single shows, which is totally fine. And I'm all for meeting anyone that wants to collect some cool cards and check us out.
Yeah, and you've got your hands on some pretty good stuff. Some of those packages came in the other day, so I'm excited. Yeah, I know. You brought a box in, and he said, "Hey, the cards came in," and I was looking at it. I'm like, "You sure that's cards? That looks like a refrigerator." But I mean, he's been grabbing some cards, so yes, keep an eye out. 2 packs a day.
Yeah,
we're doing this. But yeah, I mean, what else is going on in the world? Baseball started. I mean, we can transition into that right now, and then we'll go back and talk about 2 packs. But I'm excited about it. I've been, not a kind person to you these last 2 days. Although last night I noticed I didn't send you the score of the Diamondbacks-Yankees game because the Diamondbacks lost. But it's been exciting.
Don't worry,
man.
I was when they hit that grand slam, I was like, "Come on, you got to be kidding me!" So it got to 9-7. I'm like, "All right, we went from an easy breezy game to all right, bring in Weaver, let's go,"
to a close one. But no, it's been exciting. I'm all for the torpedo bat. I love that the MLB immediately came out and said it's legal enough. because I was worried that people were going to start talking. And they came out. They said, we tested it. We looked at it. The Yankees brought it to us ahead of time. It's legal. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I am all for it too, because you know what has happened in the last 10 years? Pitchers have dominated with increased velocity. We have pitchers now that can throw both right and left-handed that are coming up in minor league systems that you're just like, okay, there's going to be no stopping a pitcher. And the hitters, they're trying to take advantage as much as they can. And if the bat is legal, the bat's legal, right? And I don't care if anyone uses it, right? You would want to progress the game in a way, that still makes it fun and not just, hey, it's either a strikeout or a home run. And I think we're hopefully kind of etching back towards that a little bit. If they've done the pitch count clock, that's been great. The bags have increased size, that's been, great. I'm just waiting for, like trampolines in the outfield or something, and then we'll be right up.
No, please, come on. But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. The improvements to the game are awesome. And I agree with you, because I was, thinking the same thing. The pitchers have dominated for too long. And I think what the Yankees did is brilliant. I'm really excited about whether it's going to be a 30 for 30 or whatever, about the guy that designed that bat, came up with the idea and where that all came from. Cause those are the stories I like getting into. Like this guy sitting there thinking, if I do this, and
right.
like some
like you're hitting it on the label a lot. Or
yeah.
And then there's going to be a guy that gets jammed all the time. They're just going to make it like really fat up short. Right? And be like, look, he's just got a tiny bat and he's just, it's like, like a bowling pin.
He's just swinging with a bowling pin. Aaron Judge, right fielder, New York Yankees, got a bowling pin there. No, I agree. I think, anything you could do to make the game more exciting like that is good.
But it's exciting now for us card collectors, because what's going to happen now? You're going to start to get fragments of torpedo bats as game used bats, right?
That's right.
So now even think if the bat evolves a little bit more or whatever it might be, now these cards even start becoming more of a legitimate, like, crazy 1-of-1 hunt, because hey, maybe they do an insert of torpedo bat only or something like that. You have no idea.
You get a pack of cards and it's swollen like I got a torpedo. I mean, who knows, right? But Paul Skeen's card values are plummeting because the torpedo bat, the hitters are on the. I don't know if that's true, but
no, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I'm all.
No, I looked the other day and I still was like, all right, yep.
Still, he had one start. Still can't afford his card, right? That's what you're talking about. I actually just found one, by the way. I need to show you that. His USA card. I don't know. I didn't know I had it. So we need to get that. We need to get that on the 2Packs a Day single show. Paul Skeen's USA Team USA card. Keep an eye out for it. But
this is where it comes back to Bowman first, right? Like you buy Bowman, you get a Bowman first card, and you're like, oh, they're prospect. Yeah, you need to throw that in a box and wait 2 to 3 years, because then they will make it, right? Like how everything with like Cam Smith right now, right? Like, oh, got traded on the Astros and started there, and auto is going off crazy right now because of it and everything. So you never know.
You never know. You never know. And that's what it's about. And real quick, I have to insert this now. I think Caitlin Clark's card just sold. Rookie auto just sold 366,000. Awesome, but
that
devastating.
Awesome.
Well, I have to say devastating for me, because it just prices me out of ever getting my hands on one. So, but good for her, good for the sport, good for the hobby. And I think good for women's sports across the board. I'm stoked about it. I know you are. And in fact, I was, just talking to my daughter before you and I jumped on to record this. My daughter lives in San Diego. Natalie, shout out, love you. And she got excited. I was telling her that they're expanding, I think, next year. We haven't talked about this yet, but they're going to make trading cards for additional sports. Like, what is it? Parkside does the women's soccer.
Right.
They're, I think it's Tops. There's a couple companies in talks to expand the sports that they make cards for because of the boom. And my daughter's a huge volleyball athlete coach now, and she was excited. First thing she said is, women's volleyball, I'm in. Get him for me, Dad. Get him for me. So that excitement right there is what it's about, right? Caitlin Clark has taken the lid off, and if the sports and the hobby can grow to new areas, you have a young daughter, I've got 4. I mean, it's a huge win, right? And it's showing these young women like, hey, you can be on this card, right? I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like, just like you said, I collect some of the women's, NYSL stuff, and I just opened up some of their Pacific Chrome, and I was blown away. It was $60 a box, and I got 2 numbered cards that were just parallels within it. They're Chrome, like 4 base cards, and then you get an autograph card, and then you get a a patch card, and some of the patch cards had autos on them too. So like for a $60 value, like, and these women are like leading the way in,
Yeah.
just with the U.S. national team and with the NYSL like expanding and all that kind of stuff. And it's just really cool to see, yeah, just the progress with all that going on.
Yeah, I mean
So
it's awesome. I mean, you took your daughter to U.S. women's, was it the national team
yeah,
recently?
against Australia, yeah.
And I know Shake, one of our past guests, a guy I love watching. He just breaks Formula One on whatnot. He takes his kids to soccer games there in Atlanta, and they open cards there. I mean, it just does so much for the hobby when everybody's winning and they're recognizing the value in what these athletes are doing. I love it, but again, I have to say it again. But I hate it for me because there's no chance I'm getting my hands on one of her autos. But maybe I will. Maybe somebody will lose one in a box, and
You know what? Here's the
I'll
deal.
snake it,
You
right?
just you got to keep one in your wallet because you're going to be at the grocery store one day and you're just going to be walking down the aisle and be like,
Caitlin.
wait, what? Are you in town? Yeah, let's totally, yep, totally.
Yeah. Let me unfold this one in my wallet real quick and have you sign it. But anyway, that's super awesome. There's just a lot of really fun stuff going on. A lot of breakers that I'm reaching out to. Hopefully they respond and jump on the show. A lot of guys doing some really incredible stuff out there, and it's just it's been a fun time. And like you said, this last week with as busy as we've been, I keep thinking about, hey, breaking. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be single shows. It's going to be exciting. But let's talk about what you're most excited about with the start of the league, like things you're excited about as a collector, and then excited about just as a fan. Because I've got some things.
Yeah, well, I think we were touching base a little bit a couple days ago. Longoria, put out his custom card with the bat knob, right? With his
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and that that was pretty amazing. I think it was a Charizard, right?
Yeah.
Custom bat knob. That
Yep.
so what's really cool to me is baseball is now at a point where they're, a couple years ago, right? It was let the kids play. Like I think it's really kind of taken over of like, hey, they've all got color matching gloves out there. They've all got, things that are now making it more specific to them. And I have a feeling like that's just going to improve the hobby once more because now it used to be like, oh, it's a bat knob 101, whatever it might be. But now the players get to put some of their own character into it. So it's more of like a communication to, us collectors of like, hey, this is what I'm about. And this is,
Yep.
this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I could not agree. The way you said that is absolutely it brings fans even closer to the game, especially in the baseball sense, because you're at the game and you're like, hey, I would love to get, that bat topper, the knob top, whatever they call that, or the MLD of that guy, the debut of that. I mean, you're in the game, you're looking at things differently, right? You're not looking at that jersey's going to get cut up and I might get a laundry bag of some guy. But the Longoria thing is just, I think it's incredible. And I think back to Ripken and what they would have done with that bad knob. Can you imagine that card if they find that bat and instead of just a picture, you cut that out? Billy Ripken will be back in the game.
I wonder if when he's signing memorabilia at card shows and stuff like that, I wonder if anyone just brings in bats and says, hey, can you just write this on the knob and then auto it?
Yeah, or write it on the card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they didn't, who was it? Was it Holiday with the Orioles? They did something similar to the bat knob on his, it was either him or Henderson. There's a card with him. It's I think it says funny face or something else. But
yeah.
But so there's another bat knob. People are going to be like, hey, cut that, put it in a card. One of one, let's go.
I mean, it's all the callbacks, right? Because even like the insert this year is what the 90s insert, and that's with Barry Bonds signing and everyone going crazy for that card. Because I think that card's, couple grand already online for just an auto Barry Bonds. But, like you start to look back and be like, man, these cards were from essentially the era of mass production. But at the same time, like, once again, it's bringing you right back to, that nostalgic factor where you're at. So,
yeah, I think it's a great move. But yeah, Longoria is awesome because he's a big card collector. I think he still lives here in the Valley. We're in Phoenix, Arizona. He lives somewhere in the Valley. I believe he retired a D-back. I think he was on the World Series team, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on our World Series team. So yeah, really cool to see that. And yeah, that was just a cool card. So wonder what that thing's going to go for, but a lot of,
well, I know it's a cross promotion now. Think about it, because now it's not only not only sports cards,
Yep.
but now you're bringing in, Pokemon collectors as well, right? So anyone that starts, cross, hey, this is my interest. That's not just baseball, because I'm more than just a baseball player. I have other interests and things, right?
That's a great point, because some Pokemon collector might be like, dude, I want that. I
Right.
need that. I'm getting that card. I have no idea who this dude is, but I want his card because of
Right.
that. You're right. That's a good point. It's bringing the hobby, the different
I mean,
sections of the hobby closer, right?
yeah, and like actually, that's what I love about the Garbage Pail Kids inserts, right? Like
Oh yeah.
those things are awesome, but also too, same thing too, right? It's just they can be, when you start to get the color variation and stuff like that, it's pricey, but like it's just a really awesome different variation to see, them kind of create. The one that always comes to mind is Randy Johnson recently, of all the birds are throwing balls at him, you know. So, and it's just like how perfect is that, right? Like,
That
okay,
is brilliant.
all right.
That is brilliant. I want to have that job where you're sitting there, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
RJ, come here. I got an idea for a card.
Yeah. What
The
if
birds,
I
the birds are going at Randy.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. I love that, man. I love that. What other ones would be out there? I could think of so many. The big card, we're not big hockey guys, but the big card coming up is, I don't know what they would do with it, but cut up the puck, cut up the stick when Ovechkin passes Gretzky. That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I wonder, this is where I wonder on the memorabilia side, we'll have to try and get someone on, or hey, if anyone listening, if you know someone that's hardcore into memorabilia and does the signings or anything like that, we'd love to talk to them, because I'm just curious how they decide, especially on the league side, right? Like his helmet, his gloves, his jersey, like all of that stuff used during that game. Does he have a say first of what he wants to keep, because it's essentially him that's doing the record? And then after that, the league is like, we'll take the rest? Or is the league going, hey, we'll let you keep one thing, right?
Yeah, or does the Hall of Fame say dibs on the stick, dibs on the puck, or dibs on the jersey? Like, yeah, it's a great point. How does that work?
Like he would probably want to keep he'd probably want to keep the puck and the stick, right? That's my guess, right? Because like that's the thing that so
you're breaking a record no one thought could be broken.
Yeah.
So this is going to be huge. I will say again, we're not hockey guys, but I happen to be watching the Sports Center, and I think Fleury.
Wait. Did you just say the Sports Center? How old are you? Are you like 95? The Sports Center. Like,
did you see my beard? Yeah. Clearly, I'm approaching some sort of critical age here.
Get these kids off my lawn. Yeah. Okay. It's coming. It's coming.
Anyway, they were in Minnesota playing the Wild, and Fleury was, I think it was their last game. I don't remember the situation, but Fleury was a goalie for the Minnesota Wild. And Ovechkin made his team come back on the ice to shake his hand. I thought I'm all about those type of moves. Like, guys like Barry Sanders were my heroes growing up because of the way they played the game. You score a touchdown that would break everybody's ankles, and then you just hand the ball to the ref and you go to the sideline. You don't do anything showboating.
Wait. That's totally opposite of let the kids play. Like, let the bat flip happen. Let the stare down happen. See, like that's part of it, right? It builds that.
Okay. I don't hate it, but I'm more a fan of the Barry Sanders type. Like, I'm that good that I don't need to showboat. Okay.
Yeah. All right. No, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just verification on that. Yeah.
But there are moments that I do appreciate a little bit of.
The thing that comes to mind so much on this is there's a video out there of a kid playing wiffle ball, and he just jacks a home run, and this kid is maybe like 4 or 5 years old, and he just like points at it while it's in the air with the wiffle ball bat, and he's just like cocks it and just like throws the bat, and you're just like, that kid, I hope that kid makes it to the big leagues, if that's even the progression for him, because like that's what I want to see. I just want to see the character.
Okay, that kid is probably the kid in your house, because that's your son's move right there, and I hope it is. But there's times for it, like Bryce Harper. When that guy goes off, I'm always like, okay, he has a reason. Like Angel Hernandez calling him out on that third strike, and he ran down the line, lost his mind. There's time for that.
He still single-handedly has the greatest response ever to a reporter. That's a clown question, bro. That's a clown question.
I remember that.
Yeah.
His rookie year. You're right.
Yeah.
I remember it. About drinking in Canada, right?
Yeah.
It's a clown question.
So matter of fact, it was great. Just like, get out of here.
Yeah. Next. Yeah. But I enjoy the that kind of show, sportsmanship. I think that's classy touch instead of, going down and jacking him up, pulling his jersey over his head and beating the hell out of him and saying, "Hey, congratulations, you retired, and I'm beating you up like a hockey player would."
So Topps and all other card manufacturers, I want you to start working on not live, I guess, but we used to have the holographic cards, which you could turn, right? Or even in the NBA, you had like the 3D ones. You put the goggles on and the guy would kind of be out. I want like it to open like a book and it just shines up and it plays, whatever play it is, right? And be like, that's your one-on-one moment auto.
Yeah, that happened in Star Wars when she was asking for help. That's the card RJ wants.
Exactly. That's the exact card I want. I want to pop that bad boy open. I want Princess Leia to go. And now we have hitting for no, not at all.
No, what you want is you want to open the book and Aaron Judge says, "Hey, RJ, I'm Aaron Judge."
Type in your name. Hey, yeah, exactly. Totally customized for each person.
And then you leave it on your table.
Hey, these are, no idea is a bad idea. This comes back to like, what if the bird throws the ball at him, right? No dumb idea. Someone at one point was like, what if we put gum in the packs? Oh my God.
Hey, you know what? Careful, because we're doing this for fun. We're not getting any money. We're having fun. Topps is about to call us and bring us on as creative. Come on now. Hey, guys, come up with more of those ideas because they're brilliant. All right, they need a pigeon and they need a tall guy. Throw the ball at them. You can do better. Oh, man. It's like that commercial where the birds are outside the window and they're looking at the logos of the different teams. Anyway, oh man, speaking of that, there's an awesome TikTok guy, and I'm going to bring it up next time because if people aren't watching this dude, he does a bunch of stuff with logos, and I'm actually going to use one right now. RJ, you ready? But you don't have all day because this is a podcast and people don't want to hear you think. Okay, 2 Major League Baseballs have bats in the logo. What are they?
2 Major League
Baseball teams
in the logo?
Have bats in the logo.
The Orioles?
No.
Wait, they are.
And also, you're going to kick yourself in the face after you hear the right answer after saying that.
Well, the Yankees?
Yeah.
And a baseball bat in the logo. And
a lot of people are driving to work right now cursing at you now.
It's not the Brewers. Oh, man. All right, fill me in. Who is it?
Okay, St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh.
Anyway, I'll send you later tonight. I'll send you this guy because they do a fantastic job. It's awesome stuff. So
I'm not good under pressure.
Yes, clearly. But I didn't get I got the Cardinals when he asked, but I didn't get the Yankees because I got the Padres because wasn't that dude swinging a bat in that logo? The Padres guy?
No.
But it's their primary logo.
Oh, their primary. Yeah.
The Yankees have the top hat. I don't know what I just did there, but the Yankees have a top hat on a bat. So anyway.
See, that's where I got mixed up with the Orioles. I thought the Oriole was holding the bat, but I guess that's not the case. So it's just the Oriole.
Yeah, it's just an Oriole guy, right? It's just an Oriole. But anyway, that's fun stuff. Yeah, man. So, all right. So what else, RJ?
So actually, I never knew this, Matt, but Brian and I went to a spring training game, and while we were there, we happened to be sitting next to a gentleman who we didn't converse with very much, but Brian like points over and he's like, "What is he wearing?" And on his hand was a World Series ring, and I was like. And this is probably where he's just like, this guy. Because I was like, oh, excuse me, sir. I see your ring. Like, what's that for? And he's like, it's an umpire World Series ring. So I did not know this.
Angel Hernandez?
It was not. It was not. That's as far as we got because he seemed like he was, he was communicating to the umps at that point. So I probably, interrupted him because of my excitement. But
I mean, trying to pull a ring off a man's hand while he's trying to work. It's probably not a good idea.
Can I try it on? No, not at all. Not at all. No. So I never knew that the umpires win or lose, right? It's not like on a team, right? Like win or lose World Series ring, they just get a World Series ring, like specifically for the umpires because it wasn't. I couldn't see branding for the team on it, but it was pretty interesting. So I have yet to do it, but I'm going to be stalking each year the umpiring crew so that I can find the guy so I can know which series he did.
I like this. And then let's get him on and say, hey, I'm sorry my partner in crime here tried to rip the ring off your hand during the game.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was we had just sat down and like everyone's getting comfortable and like I got excited and probably like overstepped my personal bounds at that point of going, but
that's cool though. Was it a massive?
Yeah, it was a World Series ring. That's why like it kind of catches your eye because you're just like, you're like, what is this giant chunk of metal being flown around here? So of course with Arizona, how sunny it is, the sun just glinted off of it perfectly, and you're just like, you're getting a side sunburn just from like,
Hey, sir, can you move your ring? It's blinding me. I can't see the game.
yeah.
Or you say, hey, that's why you keep missing those calls, because the damn diamonds are blinding you on the team there. Come on.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that either. That's
So if you ever run into a referee, what am I talking about? If you ever run into an umpire, actually probably the NBA's got it too.
probably all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got their own ring. They were one of the call-ups for the team that worked the World Series.
Except for the NFL, because they get the same one the Chiefs got.
Oh, really?
Come on. Come on. Man.
Sorry, for a second
there. You were supposed to bring that joke home for me, man.
For a second, I think it was better this way. For a second there, I totally forgot that the Eagles won. Sorry, Eagles. So sorry. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. EGLES. Sorry. Too soon. There's an A in there, just in case you're listening at home.
But just circling back to us doing the shows, I wanted to talk a little bit about style of show, right? Because Matt, before we have done, just dollar auction stars, we've done high end stars, we've done, using the wheel to, choose a team, buy it now, whatever it might be. Did you have a preference when we would run shows? What you thought worked best for us?
I was not expecting a question, and I did. I have a preference. I like the wheel. I like
so essentially you add in all, just to everyone listening, if you haven't broken before, haven't been on Whatnot or Fanatics or anything, it's you can use a wheel. It's got all the MLB teams on it, or whatever team, basketball, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Select it and they choose it, and then it spins.
Kind of a randomizer type of concept. Yeah, you hit a button, spins, you get that team. I like anything that fills a break quickly without any kind of delay. I don't know. So the wheel seemed to work because it's there. The new thing, since we've done it, it's not a wheel, but it's kind of a bar, and all the teams cycle through.
It's their it's their internal wheel, essentially.
I'm not a fan of that. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't necessarily have a reason. I like the wheel better.
Because you're a Wheel of Fortune. I grew up on Wheel of Fortune. You're just you want to see it.
Have you seen my beard? Yes, clearly I grew up on Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I know. I think the wheel. I don't like that little thing because you can't see all the teams. Like, you get in a break and you're like, remember when you wanted the Angels, by the way? All right, so I'm looking at the Angels and I'm watching it like, I didn't get the Angels. So, Ohtani and Trout back in the day. But, wheel. What about you? What was yours?
Actually, preference was the wheel. But I think, because we tried doing, when we would try to work backwards originally from like a box break. If we're talking about a box break, we would work back and say, okay, the box cost us this. Like, let's try to build in some profit and let's start it like, hey, it costs us $7 per slot if all 30 teams go at cost a box, right? For an example. Yeah. But let's build it and say, like, so let's start at 10. What we found on that side was not a lot of action was going. So as much as sometimes dollar starts can hurt you if you're a small channel, I still think that was probably the most fun option to start, because even like how we've talked to past guests, it's like, hey, even if you're just starting out, just expect to lose money, right? You're just trying to build the process and the community. So with like dollar starts, I really enjoyed that because like anyone, you like to see the bidding. It's not necessarily where it ends up, but like there's a little bit of, tug and go back between a couple people. And then, as far as like team selection, I would stick with probably the wheel on that. Yeah. But we're working on, and then single shows a little bit different because we did the progressive style where we would just kind of like, waterfall cards on top of each other, right?
You say we. RJ didn't waterfall. He, I don't know what they like oceans it. So if you're ever one of our shows and RJ says the word progressive, buckle up because you're going to get 70 pounds of cards in your shipping because he just keeps pumping. And I have to say, the auction ended, RJ.
Yeah.
He's still piling cards on.
That's why like I'm kind of an OBS fan a little bit because of the different variations you can have and customizations. But at the same time, not on OBS, you can't. The screen is more just the screen of your action. So like you're not seeing as much of the, countdown and interaction with the community and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think when we start off with our upcoming show of the singles, got some pretty cool stuff. I think we're going to do a back wall with some higher end stuff on it. We're going to have a nice hour-long timer, and we're going to run that timer. And then that 1 hour time, we're just going to go crazy, and then at the end of the timer, we're going to run the back wall and see what happens.
Yep.
But
So
everything will be, a $2 start on that, right? And that's to us the reason why we start at $2 is because right away, just upfront of whatnot fees and stuff like that, right? $2 is still cheap enough to start,
yeah,
I guess the auction at a low enough range where someone buys it for $2, we're not necessarily walking with 10 cents if we, for some reason, had gotten a card for a good value. Personally, once again, on our side, like if we look to, get cards, if I buy a large quantity in bulk, right? If we find someone that's willing to sell large in bulk for us, anything $2 and under is great. But some of those really nice inserts or hot rookies, you're gonna obviously pay for more, and those are the ones that, like I said, if you're just starting off as a small channel, you just might have to bite the bullet on a little bit and
yep.
know that you might take a loss on something. But like I said, it'll work out in the end.
Yeah, and these things are so much fun. It's almost worth the loss. Getting to get back into it. Hopefully, some of these folks that were in the breaks before dive back in and see what we've got. And I mean, of course, they're going to if they see you and the word waterfall and progression, because they'll be right. They know what comes from that. But what is, if you remember off the top of your head, I was with you when you opened at least one of the boxes. What card in there got you the most? Like, what are you most stoked about? Dropping down on the single show, because there were some
Oh,
good cards in there.
oh man. Well, I've ordered a bunch more. I found a couple more lots, and I've kind of found a couple more things that are of interest to me.
Yeah.
Um, but I think I sent you one. Oh man, like probably one of the ones I'm more excited about. Like they're just like when I look for stuff, I look for stuff that kind of moves me, right? Because I'm like, man, if that's an awesome card, like
Yeah.
it's just an
Well,
awesome card.
hold on. I'm feeling some emotion. So before you say it,
Yeah.
this card can't slide into your PC because you're
Yeah.
about to say it's on the show. So be careful here.
Yeah. So actually, well, there is one that I do have that I am debating about sliding into my PC, and that is one of the Aaron. It's an Aaron Judge like minis. So they took the bodies of some players and they like shrunk portions of it, whether it's like the body within the batter's box and the giant
Yeah.
bat or stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, this stuff is so cool. Um, but I think what I'm pretty psyched about is I was like trying to go for once again, like on the insert side, so Bowman has some really cool inserts that were like hangers. So they made like boxes that were like it was like a hanger, like you'd be putting it on, a pegboard,
Right.
at the store. Those are super cool. So I think we have some of those filtering through. I got some ultraviolet 2020, I think it's 2024 ultraviolet green to 99 PSA graded 9s and 10s.
Yes.
That'll be some back wall stuff. I also have a PSA order that's coming in like any day now. I got the notification at 1:08 a.m. yesterday that it shipped. So I hope
Yeah.
it's here, by Monday, because we're close enough to California that it's a stone's
Shouldn't
throw.
take that
But
long, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but otherwise, like I have a Walker Jenkins auto 10. I don't know if I'm gonna include that one yet. That might be a little later down the road. But
Yeah. That was gonna slide into PC for a minute. Kind of hang
yeah.
out there. Kind of
No,
get to know the guys. Get to know the PC. Hey, what's up, guys?
that one's gonna sell, but I just don't know how I'm gonna sell it because I'm back and forth on it of doing it in a show or using like a whatnot auction to
Yeah.
just list it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
yeah,
Did
but
you hear?
otherwise,
Did
like
you hear the
yeah,
pain in that, everybody? Did
yeah.
you
Well,
hear the pain?
that's how some of the higher end stuff for the back wall and things like that. But like as far as we really try to go with like color parallels or inserts or things like that for the main show itself. Like yeah, there'll be
Yeah.
some base in there a little bit, but like I like I said, I want to try and sell things that are unique already in a little bit because no one wants a 250 cars of all base and
Yeah.
that's that, right? So
No
yeah,
one
so we
wants that.
picked up like a bunch of logo fractor cards. Like in this tournament,
Yeah.
like those might be your base. They're going to be some random guy on the Twins or something like that, but at the same time it's still a logo fractor, and people are opening those boxes for like $175 a box just to get 2 packs of logo fractors. So like those are just so cool when you just like
They
you
are.
can turn them and see the hologram of the logo on it. So
Yeah,
like
I did thumb through those. Those were very
yeah,
cool cards. I hadn't seen those yet. They were those were nice looking cards, and
yeah,
it's actually surprising that the ones I was looking at were base. So
yeah.
that's pretty exciting. Yeah. So
Oh man, what else just came in? Sorry, like some
uh,
94 Tops Finest came in. So like I
yeah,
even got a little bit of some old stuff, but it's still Chrome variation, or Chrome, not a variation,
yeah,
but it's Chrome. So like one is a box topper card of like Lenny Dykstra, so it's like that big,
Dykstra.
but yeah,
That guy.
that guy.
That
But yeah,
guy.
so I'm pretty excited to kind of see what happens.
When you say a name like that, though, doesn't it take you right back to the massive wad of spit and the old school days
Yeah,
of baseball, man?
yeah.
As soon as you say that, guys, there's a couple names that just immediately take
Well,
you back.
it's crazy to watch some of those old videos, right? And you're just like, you look and they didn't have any netting in front of the dugout. Like guys are just like stepping like
Yeah.
onto like essentially the field, just spitting and all that kind of stuff like that. So we've progressed. We've gone from there to nets in front of the dugout to
Yep.
nets along the baselines to
Yep.
it's almost like there's this old school Nintendo game called Base Wars that I used to love playing because it was robots from the future. And the entire audience was under glass. So as the robots would hit the ball, like it would go onto the stands and ding, 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 around and come back
Oh,
onto the
yeah.
field. And then when you like met someone at the base with the ball, you could fight them to essentially blow them up and I'm like, this is for Nintendo. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like we'll be there at some point. Like they're gonna do some futuristic stadium and be like, hey, we're gonna bring the field in closer, right? So now we're gonna have walls at like 200, but it's all gonna be encased with like protective whatever, and and you guys can go to town. I think actually we went to the White Sox game a couple years back, and they have that out in like right field. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, in right
It's,
field, like right behind it, they've got like all these plexiglass walls, and it's
yeah.
like a restaurant slash bar. So you can go and actually like watch the game there, but like you're almost like field level in a sense.
Yeah. That actually, so when I was in the military, we went to Cleveland. I think it was for an air show. It doesn't matter. We went to the Cleveland Indians game. They were the Indians at that point. Similar thing. However, we went on dollar beer night, so I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. I remember being down there. I think it was field level, like you said. So same thing as the White Sox, but I just remember becoming a huge fan of the Indians because dollar beer night, and you could walk down there. You didn't even need a ticket. They let you go down there for a few minutes and then pulled you back up so everybody could go through. Yeah, that's a pretty cool gig. You're right. We're getting to that point that they're going to put us out there. You'll be somehow, some way standing next to the shortstop while the game's going on, but you won't impact the play.
Yeah.
So,
I
how
mean,
are you doing?
if whenever they invented pools like that, right? Like the negative edge, but yet it's got the clear wall and you can like see totally in while someone's
Yeah,
swimming. Right.
it's
Get on
coming.
that. Get on that. Someone futurist. Remember the futuristic game. Then you have a futuristic game.
So,
So
okay, so we have that happening, and then you have
yeah,
a card where Aaron Judge talks to you in your house.
it's a
Like,
hologram.
what is
Exactly.
going on behind the breaks today? We got these ideas.
Yeah.
Ideas.
They're just flowing through me. What can I say?
I'm writing it down. Actually, we're recording it, so we don't need to write it down. But yeah, crazy stuff. Real quick, we're gonna kind of pair this off, get ready. We're gonna be back on schedule, so the shows will be coming out. I do want to give a quick shout out to a gentleman named Stan Grunis. We're doing this thing. It's we mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's a lot of work to lift up. Stan sent us an email and basically just said, hey, appreciate what you guys are doing. He's getting ready to start either selling on eBay or whatnot. I think it was RJ. So just him taking a minute to reach out and let us know that he appreciates the podcast. He enjoys listening to it. That was nice. It was kind. He didn't have to. So I'm grateful for that. So thanks, Stan. Appreciate you doing that. And of course, all of our guests who are awesome. We may not talk to you every day, but I'm watching you. I think, was it you telling me Emerald City Rips has even further escalated his setup? That guy's just crushing it. And of course, the rest of them, but Emerald's doing incredible stuff. So appreciate everybody. But again, thanks, Stan, for reaching out to us. It meant a lot. I actually sent that to RJ, I think at 10 o'clock at night. I was moved. I was genuinely moved because this is a lot of work to do. It's fun. So I'm not complaining at all. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I talk to RJ all the time. I'm recording it. So, there's that. But it's fun. Appreciate that kind of feedback. And as always, we want people to reach out to us. If you want to be on the show, just talk to us again. We're basically like having a beer with some buddies and talking about a hobby we all enjoy. So reach out to us. And there's a billion ways you can do it. Find us on social platforms, find us on YouTube and reach out. And we take everybody. You don't have to be a huge seller, breaker. Like RJ said earlier, if you're into memorabilia, we'd love to talk about that. Like what goes into that. like you said, is there a dibs type of deal, or is it already established when you know something's happening? So yeah, reach out, let us know what you want to do. And what else, RJ? What else we have to talk about before we wrap this bad bear up?
Yeah, I don't know. Go Yankees.
Go where? Are they playing again tonight, RJ?
Yeah, they already beat the Pirates today.
Oh, so it was a 3-game series with the D-backs?
Yeah, yeah.
And just for context, we live in Arizona. RJ's a lifelong Yankees fan, and I guess I'm a homer. I like the D-backs. So I just give them a little hard time.
You're an NL guy, right? You're a Padres and the D-backs, and
yeah,
it's kind of places that you'd lived. You seem to become a homer where you live.
Well,
so which is good.
This goes back to what I said earlier. I'm a player guy, and I grew up idolizing Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
So, and I just happened to be lucky enough to move there at one point in my career and live there for a bit. But I just absolutely thought that guy was the greatest thing ever. So that's the Padres aspect. The Diamondbacks, because I'm here and I just, you got to go for the team.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, okay, now I'm going to be long-winded. We said we were going to end this damn thing. Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, was my guy. He was my East Coast guy because he was number 23. That was my favorite number. So there's a lot of things. I'm a strange cat, but I just don't like, there's certain players I hate that made me hate the teams. And then teams I don't like just because they're the Dodgers. So, so there's that.
I mean, they're essentially 162-0 already. So just, just hand them the trophy.
Hold on. The Padres, have they lost yet? 7-0 last time I checked.
Oh,
and
were
of
they?
course, yeah, 7-0. They were actually in first place. So, of course, the D-backs have a great team, and they're going to be finishing third or fourth place because the Padres and the Dodgers. But I got to respect talent. The Dodgers are great. I don't think there's anybody on that team that's a horrible person. They're just the Dodgers. So don't hate us, guys. It's just a thing. Right?
I just want to see good baseball. That's all I want to see. Good baseball.
Well, Didn't we bet on, we made a call on the World Series. I have to go back and watch it because I don't remember what I said. I think I said Orioles Padres. I said whatever happens is what I said.
Yeah. We'll have to go back.
Yeah, we'll go back.
I think mine was probably a rematch.
You're probably going to win. Damn it. All right. Well, good talking to you as always, man.
Definitely.
Like I said, everybody, thanks for listening. We're back on schedule, and reach out. Let us know what you think. Give us feedback. Shoot a guest if you have somebody that wants to be on, you want to be on. We'll take it all. Just have a little fun and talk stuff.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you are on Whatnot, go ahead and look us up 2PacksADay. Give us a follow, and you should be seeing a notification pretty soon for the show. I'm hopefully trying to get it here in the next, hopefully 7 to 10 days from when the podcast drops. But we'll see. We're just going to go with it and have some fun. Yeah, some fun. It's 2PacksADay, all one word, TWO, Packs, PACKS, A, Day, DAY. Check it out. I'll put the notes, the links down in the show notes this time. But thanks for listening, and thanks, RJ. We'll talk to you all soon. All right, take care. Thanks for listening to Behind the Breaks. We appreciate you being here with us and helping us grow this community. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Make sure to like, follow, or subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.